Don't walk through those doors and think that it's boring. We want you to walk through the doors and say, I'm going to get better today, and our team's going to get better. That's all we want to hear. That's what your brain should be saying every day. All right, here we go.
Family on three, 1, 2, 3, family.
Good job. Good job, guys. Good job. First day.
Welcome in. It's our Wednesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio as we come to you each and every day here on KDSJ, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And it's a really excited time right now. And as OTH is going through we're living our best life. I think right now, ain't we, D? He told me not. See, I keep doing it every opening. I'm always asking him opening questions when you get the show prepared. Then he doesn't have his mic up. I don't know why I do that, but it's Few Words Wednesday. As we get just a few words every Wednesday from my producer, Demigod. But on the show, we call him my home guy. What's up, my man?
30 hertz
Ye of little words. Got a special show today at 1:30. We're going to have on Woods Elite Director Marcus Monk. He's going to come on and we're going to recap this past weekend's big event, the Made Hoops, completing its 5th year in the Northwest Arkansas area at multiple gyms. Major high quality talent, including one, Demetrius. I think you were in the gym with Bronny. Is that who you got? Yeah, got a chance to catch up with? Yeah, and he ain't lying when he says little words. He's not lying by any means, any stretch of the imagination. I'm also too, if you want to call in today, you can do so with any of your thoughts. We hadn't had a chance to get our feedback from the fans since Arkansas hired its new head basketball coach Eric Musselman. Give us your take on what you think about Coach Musselman's future here at Arkansas going forward under his leadership. Also, spring football concluded. What were you excited about? Still yet? What questions do you have? Who's some surprising players that you might want to check out in year 2 under Coach Mo? Also, too, the Diamond Gang. The class is ranked 25th. How has recruiting impressed you under Chad Morris? Demetrius, it came out also, too, 5 years, Brett Bielema signed 15 kids out of the state of Texas. In 18 months, get this, Chad Morris has inked 17 kids out of the state of Texas in 18 months. Talk about just the job. I mean, how impressive when you're able to do that. And in particular, he started to make his name known off in what they call Beach, Texas, which when you can get kids out of there, I mean, you're getting talent, more talent on top of talent is what I believe he's starting to do. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. That was one of the things he said he was going to do when he came to Arkansas. So I think he's really just proving to people why he made a good hire for Arkansas.
I mean, you always heard time and time over my time covering this program, man, growing up, watching this program from afar, is that it was hard to recruit to the University of Arkansas. You not only heard that from coaches in this that's been here in Fayetteville, also too, you always heard it about the fan base. You couldn't get the elite talent. Ty Crawford is a big-time offensive lineman committed to Coach Morris on Sunday following his official visit. Chose Arkansas over Georgia, the Alabamas, the Tennessees, the Texas A&Ms, the Texases. A lot of big time programs want this young man, and we had Otis Kirk on yesterday to talk about it. I'm in agreement. I think this kid's going to come in and start day one. Multiple kids that you see in the freshman class, Demetrius, as we were at the spring game, guys like Mateo Soli, Trey Knox, Eric Gregory, Devin Bush, Gregory Brooks, all these guys, Shamar Nash, all these guys are starting to really show up, and they're not even taking a full game rep in live game action. So Chad's on a different level. I'm just going to put it out there from a recruiter standpoint. He may be the best and his staff at selling the university and what it can do for you both academically and athletically. I just have to give kudos for what he's been able to accomplish. But I tell you what, we're going to step away, get us a real quick break. If you want to call in, you can do so. It's your time. Talk to us. We'd love to talk to you. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment. Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTH. That's right, On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTH. Holla.
Try to get up to his standards, and so yeah, they practiced a lot. I can tell you that there was a lot of hog calls going on in Reno, Nevada, for sure before we got on that plane.
First of many trips to Little Rock, I'm sure. Just what have you known so far about Central Arkansas? A lot of talent already. Kind of been at Arkansas before from the Little Rock area, but just the talent around Central.
Yeah, I mean, even before getting this job, I mean, the history of Arkansas basketball, whether it's Joe Johnson or Sidney Moncrief, because I'm old enough to remember, Sid, and just, I know Joe Klein lives here, and incredible talent. They're always, it's not something that's just a 2-year thing. I mean, the history of Little Rock basketball is pretty well known throughout the entire country.
You've been here roughly 50 hours since the press conference. Have you learned something about Arkansas that you didn't know beforehand in the last, 2 days?
The people are so friendly. I guess we got to win now, but up until our first game, everybody's really, really friendly, and just the passion of that logo and the brand is pretty doggone powerful.
I heard you talk about LSU and the experience there. So you had a taste. You kind of knew about Arkansas and the passion for it, but it's even been a little bit bigger than you thought.
I expected something really cool, and that's really what it is just knowing that it's the brand in the state, and it's a state thing. It's not just a regional thing, and that's different from most places.
Has anything happened with your assistant coaches?
No, we're still talking to guys, and I had some good meetings this week with the current guys, and they've been awesome trying to kind of catch me up to speed on everything, and just we haven't had enough time in the day to try to put everything together, but we're working at it.
How have the meetings with the players gone?
Great. The players are great, really good character kids. They're excited. They seem to be really enthused, and so we'll just keep getting to know them, and we'll really start, in a couple, week and a half, we'll really be able to spend time with them.
Are there similarities in the style with what they were doing and what you do, getting up and down the court and getting after people? Are there some similarities?
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, basketball is basketball, but every coaching staff kind of has its own identity, theme, style, whatever you want to call it, and so I mean, I think that, they didn't play like a slow pace, which, you could have played in a methodical system, but I think that there'll be differences, but some similarities as well.
The recruiting guys have already been talking about how you guys have been hitting the road or been putting out some big time offers. What kind of feedback are you getting from the recruits, I wonder, after taking this job? What are they saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, we can't comment on anybody in particular, but I think everybody's enthused, and again, not talking about anything in particular, just in general, and so we'll just keep trying to make contacts and introduce ourselves and go from there.
A little different walking around with that Razorback on your chest, you think, come summer when you're going to some of these summer tournaments?
Yeah, I don't think there's any, when you're representing the SEC. It's a powerful brand, at the conference and
Purchase your tracks today.
He'll be able to maneuver. You also go back to his years when he was at 23 years old. This man had to be the chief CEO of a CBA team, having to put together a roster at age 23. you talk about a lot of weight. I mean, he's been around, been in a lot of places. So being able to walk on in Arkansas, he's adapted and always had to adapt to change. And I think, the good thing about Eric and Coach Musselman is the talent that he has. The pieces, the freshman talent, the sophomore talent that he has on campus. If the right guys, and I've said it and I'll continue to say, if the right guys stay, he's going to be able to build. Those guys, when you talk about Chris Moore, Jalen Williams, Moses Moody, they're obviously looking to see what a lot of these freshmen like Adesi Seals, Isaiah Joe, what their plans are for the future. But I think, Coach Musselman and that NBA, title that he has, those kids, it's going to go a long way. I know you're going to see a lot more pro sets within their system. They're still going to run, have a fast pace, but he likes to call it pace with space. And, I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. But I think, for all intents and purposes, I think Scotty Thurman's going to be on staff, and that's really going to help with the relationships in the state of Arkansas, such as, when Brett Bielema and also Chad Morris took over. Who's the one guy that they kept? Barry Lunny, and we can all see the fruits of his labor as he's been able to bring in constant talent from the in-state. So I think that's where the relationship part's going to go. And then not only you have to get assistants that can put your brand out across the nation. When Arkansas was good, Nolan was good. We were recruiting Memphis. You got Darnell Robertson out of California. You were able to go to Birmingham, Alabama, and get some of the elite players. So Arkansas just doesn't, in my opinion, need to stay regional. They need to start thinking about getting a national brand. And I think when you have a guy like Eric Musselman with so much NBA experience and travel so many places, I think that's something that you will see. And I think in recruiting, he's already offered 4 and 5 star kids, offered the 3 major kids. I know everybody was worried about, will he recruit Moses, Jalen, and Chris? He did that last week, and he did that in a very quick manner and went out and offered 2 5-star kids that he had prior relationships. He had a 5-star, Todd. Remember this. Kyrie Walker was a 5-star shooting guard, one of the top 10 players in that class, and it came down to Nevada and Memphis. So that ought to tell you a little bit about his recruiting ability. And just like I said, that NBA title, I mean, we're in the real world, and that's what kids are looking at. It's what have you done and what can you do? And they seem to think he can do quite a bit.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to see. It's going to be, to me, it remains to be seen. And, of course, I'm going to give him time just like I'm giving all the other coaches time. I have 2 things I want to leave you with real quick. I know oftentimes we compare Nolan to other coaches that come in the program, what they may have to offer, what Nolan was able to do, where he was able to recruit. Now, I want everybody, including your listeners, to be mindful of this. Nolan was at the right place at the right time. When he came to Arkansas, he had a brand of basketball that everybody wasn't doing at that time. There were few teams running and gunning and pressing, okay? And a lot of the inner city kids gravitated to that. Now, if you fast forward, now there are so many teams out there that are running fast-paced offense and pressing. And you can't press like you used to with Nolan because of the way they've changed the game, freedom of movement, and that kind of thing. But my point is that Nolan was in a position to offer something that was different, and kids gravitated to that. We don't have that option anymore. And I know this. There are teams that actually, we know, you and I both know there are teams that actually do some little things underhandedly as far as financially for some of these kids, especially the high-profile ones. And it's just my belief now. I'm serious. If you're gonna recruit with them, you got to do the same. And I hate to say the rules, but those teams that are getting these kids.
Right. And
I'll leave you with one last thing. That with regards to that, the cheating part, and folks say, do you think Mike Krzyzewski has cheated? These coaches, I certainly do. And I'm gonna tell you what. Just take my scenario for example. I cheat, get paid some players for 4 or 5 years, and I become a dominant program. I don't have to pay anymore because now kids have gravitated to my program now.
Right.
Because I'm winning. You see what I'm saying? I did that the first 4 or 5 years to get kids in there, and now I only have to reach out there and do that. So do I think he's doing that now? No, he didn't have to because he's already built the monster.
Right.
He's already got it. But I pray, I'm hopeful that that the coach is able to get these players. And I'm not. Last thing I'm gonna get off the phone. I'm not all that inspired about getting a whole lot of 5-star one-and-done players, because unless you can repeat that every year, then it will kill your program.
Right.
Because you go from having 3 or 4 5-stars, and all of a sudden the next year you got 2 or 3 stars, and then fans are like, well, we're not winning that. So I'm not all for having a whole bunch of them on the team, but I do agree that we have to have the talent that are up there to be able to compete every year and hopefully go to the NCAA tournament every year.
Real quick, Todd, before I let you go, and you pose a lot of great questions, and we want to thank you for calling in here at OTH. But what's the over/under? How much time do you think this fan base will give Coach Muss and his staff to get them to the what they so covered, Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, and Final Fours? How much time? They gave Mike 8, so I'm thinking in that 3 to 4 year range. What say you on that before I let you go?
I think it's going to be 5 or 6, because I think Arkansas is going to make a tournament within 4 years or so, and then folks going to give them another year or 2 after that. I just don't. I did some research the other day, Pat, and out of all the NCAA teams, all the Division I major, not the major, excuse me, all Division I schools, I think there's like 330 something Division I schools.
Yes.
Only 16% had won a title.
Oh,
less than 20%, I think it was like 19 point something, had been to the Final Four. Man. So let's say everybody talking about Sweet 16 and all that other kind of stuff. Not very many teams, period, make it to, and there's about 15 teams, I think 14 or 15 teams that haven't been, I don't have my paper in front of me, that haven't made it to the tournament ever.
Oh, wow.
So when you soak that in, you start talking about, okay, well, we need to make a Sweet 16, or we need to do this. I think what we do is, every other year tournament team, then we'll go from there.
Right.
But whether they're expecting a Sweet 16 every other year, next year, for example, we make the tournament, maybe this is the next year, make it the next year. If we're there consistently, then we can talk Sweet 16.
All right. Well, Todd, hey, thanks for the call, my man. Continue to share all your great thoughts and opinions with us on the Hill. And as always, thanks for your call, my man.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Man, Demetrius, Todd was pretty passionate about what was going on. Who do we have? Todd, I'm in a bad mood. I'm disappointed. And hence. But he had some good points.
Yeah, one that really stuck out to me and something I've been a big believer in, especially around the time Malik Monk was thinking about coming to Arkansas, was the comment about schools that aren't interested in making that one and done continuous thing shouldn't really focus on it. And I think that's true, because so many top tier programs dictate their future on one player.
See, a lot of people say that you shouldn't focus so much time on the real elite kids. I mean, why do you feel that way though, D? Because I'm kind of like you.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't focus your time on the elite kids, but you have to understand the ones that are only going to be in your presence for a short time. You shouldn't make them the focal point of your program, because a lot of times I tell people there's a difference between having a team and a program. A team, it may be a 1 or 2 or 3 year thing, but a program is going to be everlasting. It's going to be a dynasty. It's going to be able to be self-sufficient, sustainable. And I think anytime you have those one-done kids, you put yourself in a position to be liable to fail, because after that kid makes that decision, to leave, and I kind of feel Arkansas put themselves in that position a little bit with Dan Gafford. I'm not necessarily saying we don't have that elite kid, but we waited till it was Dan's time to go to fill that position, knowing that we needed another center, knowing that we needed another, elite big man. And I think that's where universities of high caliber usually tend to get in trouble.
Yeah. See, I thought he was of little words, but he had more than little words. Good points. And that's going to let us go to break. As next up, we're going to have Director of Woods Elite Basketball, Marcus Monk. He's up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a bit. Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTH. That's right, On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTH. Holla.
been an exciting 9 to 10 days, and it's been a great search process. And as I said earlier, it really reaffirmed for me as a director of athletics what the perception is outside of this state for this basketball program. And every coach I talked to, whether they were interested in this position or they were talking to me about someone that had an interest in this position, they identified this quickly as one of the top programs, or what should be a top program in the SEC, and what should be a top 20 program year in and year out. And was excited the first time I had an opportunity to talk to Coach Musselman on the phone, and could sense his energy and his passion for the game of basketball, and his energy and his passion for developing young men both on and off the court, and also his energy and his passion to be here at the University of Arkansas and to be the leader of our basketball program. And he embraced the history that is Razorback basketball, and he wanted to be a part of that history and that tradition as our head coach. And this is a job he wanted, and that was important to me for someone that really wanted to be here and wanted to take this program to the next level as we move forward. So with that, we'll open it up, I guess, for questions.
All right, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone. We'll start over here with Trey.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's our Wednesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. Real quick, want to give a shout out to all the people that show us love, our sponsors that make this thing possible. Lindsay and Associates with an office location in Fayetteville, and office location also too in Rogers. The Baymont Hotel, located at 735 South Shiloh Drive in Fayetteville. Locomotion, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall, and our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. Want to give a thank you to all you guys. This would not be possible without you all. But on to our main interview. Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, I should say, held one of the more prestigious boys high school summer circuit tournament events this past weekend, the Made Hoops. And we thought we'd get a catch up and just see how everything went with Director of Woods Elite, Marcus Monk. Marcus, welcome to the Hill, my man.
I appreciate it, Pat. I appreciate it.
Talk about this past weekend. A lot of elite talent going into year 5. When you started this thing in year 1, did you see the vision that this thing has become as it is?
I mean, with the network me and my friend Chad Babel have, I knew that we could grow it into something special for this region. I think starting year 5, where we had 120 plus teams, from year 1 where we had maybe 50 teams. I wouldn't think that it would have progressed as fast, as quick as it has progressed. And it's not just the quantity of teams. I'm speaking more on the quality of the event. It's the family vibe, the family feel. All of my family members help run and maintain the event. So, for me, it's special because it's a time of year where I get to see tons of my family members because they help me run the event.
Talk about, the talent level that you guys were able to bring in year 5. How has it changed, Marcus? And what did you see this weekend that has you so excited for this summer season for you guys and, for all teams involved?
Well, speaking on just the talent level in general, started out we were real top heavy. Then we, as far as some of the teams from when we had the 48 teams, but it was real top heavy on talent. Now it's just beautiful because we have from top to bottom in all age groups. There were no cakewalks as far as games. Every program comes in, they come and compete, regardless of what you see the score. Even if you see a score that may look on paper as if it was a blowout, you have to have the vibe of the game. You take the kids from AAO who played against North Coast, which is LeBron James' son's team. The vibe of that gym, those kids, the score wouldn't have, it didn't dictate the energy and vibe of the game and the experience for those kids, And it's just a blessing for us because we could bring in teams from Adidas, Under Armour, and Nike, which is who sponsors the Woods Elite, the team that I run. And then from personal standpoint, it's just great to see the Woods Elite across these kids' chests, and we have boys and girls from all age groups all over the state. It's just a blessing, to be able to give back and, see those kids do something that I love to do and that I did, and that created so many opportunities for me and my family and, my brother as well.
When you look at the state of Arkansas, it's a state that I've always felt was a sleeping giant when you talk boys and girls high school basketball throughout the years. And you and I have talked multiple years about just what we're starting to see. Talk about the talent in this state for both boys and girls and what you've seen and what it could be like going forward, in your opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I think that the talent has always been here. I just, now it's more attention being shine, more light being shined on the state. People are starting to pay more attention to the talent that we're producing. Kids are starting to get more opportunities. This just isn't on the Woods Elite. That's why, what we do, we pull every program in the state. I wish the best for everybody who has a program on any level in this state, because what it is creating more opportunities and giving kids more chances to be on teams, to be a part of something, to learn camaraderie, to know what it means to be on a team and working with other individuals. So that's a testament to not just Woods Elite, but every program, boys and girls in the state of Arkansas, who come out weekend to weekend and donate their time and sacrifice their time, to put forth and to invest back into the communities.
When you look at the state of Arkansas, I'm not going to say every kid wants to be a Razorback, but the majority of young boys and girls would love to either play on the grass or run on that court. When you've had a chance, Arkansas just recently named a new head basketball coach, Eric Musselman. When you found out Coach Muss would be the guy, Marcus, from what you know of Eric, how do you think that this will go forward, for Arkansas's basketball program for years to come, in your opinion?
I think Coach Anderson did a great job leaving it where he left, as far as where he started when he, first got the program. And, from what the new coach, from what I've talked with him briefly a couple times, tons of energy. He has a great resume. He's coached on many different levels. He's had success on many different levels. And that's just one thing, you coach a JV team to a championship, a varsity team, and the guys that can do it on every level. One thing that they can coach. One thing, I hear a lot of people talking about recruiting, and that's definitely a big part of what he'll have to get out there and do. But I also believe in the guys that are currently on the roster. There's a lot of talented guys, tons of talent on that roster. So, I'm excited. I just thought this year, had ups and downs, had a young team, but they fought hard the whole season, So for Coach to come on and for him to receive the talent that he already has, I know he has his hands in a couple different plates around the country in regards to a few players that he was currently recruiting. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what will be next.
Well, as always, Mark, man, let's keep up. Hey, keep doing the great job that you do with our state's young youth. Man, I admire what y'all do, and thanks for taking time out on the hill, my brother.
Appreciate it.
That was Marcus Monk, director of Woods Elite basketball program. They have boys and girls in the matrix. I mean, got some talented boys and girls on both sides, high Division I major, and he echoed exactly what you said. Arkansas is a basketball state.
Yeah, I just became a big believer in that. I still think we can be whatever state we want to be as far as an athlete comes, because I think we just have those type of kids. I think Arkansas really could be a central recruiting ground, but I think it's still going to take, like you said the other day, guys like me and you who are really elevating the media scene in Arkansas, because I really think Arkansas is behind the times when it comes to media, in the number of media outlets, and not only the number of media outlets, black outlets at that. And I think once we can kind of add to that and add to our platforms that we allow to grow and showcase these kids, I think Arkansas, you'll see a lot of Arkansas kids like your Moody's, like your Monks, like your Portises. I think you'll start seeing
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams. You'll start seeing those type of kids get national level attention.
Well, that's going to wrap up our show. See, I thought he said he was a man of little words. That's not what we got. Like I said, we're just like a normal program. As the show gets going, we get a little stronger, and I think he stepped it up with some great points. But we want to give a thank you to our callers. Todd Washington out of Little Rock, great call, great insight. We love those. We love our callers to always reach out to us and be a part of OTH. We like that. And also to our guest, Marcus Monk, director of Woods Elite Basketball, boys and girls program here in the state of Arkansas. Does a great job with all of our state's youth. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to the sponsors that show us so much love to make this possible.